Welcome everybody, thanks for tuning in. Christmas has come early. We are going to be teaming up with Polygon, SR Suntour and Schwalbe for a really fun giveaway for you guys on this Siskiu T8 that we've been reviewing. And kind of the whole concept that came about was earlier this summer we did a really fun budget bike shootout and had a ton of people that were reaching out saying that they loved the budget bike, more price point friendly reviews we were doing. So we wanted to reach out to a couple of brands and sort of mimic what someone might do for a sub $2,500 bike and then progress as a rider and look to make an upgrade that they might naturally do in their progression as a rider and mountain biker. So what we did is we first got this Siskiu T8 from Bikes Online. They're the North American distributor, and it came with this Fox 30 4-fork and Fox float rear shock. We tested it in its stock platform, rode the bike. We liked it for sub $2,500 price point for this bike. It's available in either 27.5 or 29. We opted for the 29-inch version, which we thought would be a really good option for the trails here around Bend, Oregon. It's a 135 rear on the 29-inch version and 140 travel for a 27.5 with a 150 fork. And we just felt that there was more, that there was a lot more potential in this bike, and we wanted to upgrade the suspension and see how it would improve the bike's characteristics, what it would open up to a rider who maybe gets in for that sub 2,500 price point and wants to start pushing themselves and their bike a little bit harder. Now we opted to go with the Suntour upgrade because in our experience in the past, you get a really good bang for your buck. Sometimes people are really focused on sticking with, Fox suspension because that's what it came with and feeling the need to go up to that factory level stuff. And the reality is you can save yourself a lot of money like we did with this Suntour and open the bike up quite a bit. This tri-air rear shock transformed the bike night and day. So that's one of our biggest critiques of this bike, honestly, out of the box, was the rear end felt a little bit harsh and chattery. It was a little bit rough on some of the square edge bumps, whether that was tree roots or sharp rocks, and that initial landing off of like a drop or a jump. It just took a bit to get that shock to open up, and that Fox float just, I don't know if it was the tune on this particular bike, but none of our testers really loved it, and it kind of held this bike back quite a bit. One of the other factors we thought holding this bike back were the Tektro brake spec. The big long levers, the sort of lack of adjustability. The power was fine, but the ergonomics and just kind of adjustability wasn't quite there. And I think for a bike in this $2,299, I think, price point, we'd like to see a little bit nicer brake spec out of that. So aside from that, liked the Shimano. The SLX 12-speed drivetrain was great. You're getting a single ring up front, a solid, reliable 12-speed drivetrain, good wheel and tire combo. The cockpit can be upgraded at your leisure, but it totally worked fine. The in-house spec was great. Dropper post worked fine. So in our opinion, the rear shock and brakes were kind of the two things holding this bike back out of the box. Once we got the Suntour stuff on there, again, it opened the bike up quite a bit. The rear end was a lot more supple. The sensitivity off the top was great, and our riders instantly noticed an improvement and took this bike to another level. So again, that was kind of our goal with this, was to get into a bike in what a beginner level rider might spend and what they could expect for the performance out of that kind of entry level stuff, and show them that there's a great option to not only have to go buy a new, more expensive bike, but that you can, relatively affordably shop smart, get some good suspension stuff, and transform that bike and keep it lasting longer and performing better than it did when it was new. So that being said, we're now going to give this bike away. Polygon was kind enough to say that we could keep the bike after the review was over and give it away to one of our fans, so we decided to do just that. SR Suntour was on board as well and said, hey, if you guys like the way that bike rode with our suspension on there, we're stoked to hear it. keep it on the bike and give it away. So we also decided to give away the stock suspension as a separate giveaway. So that is a 29er Fox 34 and Fox float rear shock. So that will be going away. And since the bike comes spec'd with some Schwalbe Hans Dampf tires, we reached out to our buddies over at Schwalbe. They were kind enough to send us another set of tires. So all in all, we're gonna be giving away this complete bike to one lucky winner. Another winner will get a set of Schwalbe tires, and then a third winner will be getting this Fox suspension combo for their own bike or whatever they might want to do with it. So how can you win? Simple, right? What you got to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel here. Also, click the link down below or go to theloamwolf.com and basically answer a couple of short questions and enter your email address and submit. You will be entered. So our goal is to give this thing away in early December, little Christmas come early present for you guys. So thank you very much for all the support this year. Thank you to Schwalbe, Polygon Siskiu for helping make this giveaway possible. And please reach out with any questions you have below. And we're looking forward to having you guys enter and give this bike suspension and tires away. So good luck and thanks for participating.